Hi, my name is Dr. Kolodenker, and today I will be talking about your insurance policy. It's really important to understand your insurance policy prior to purchasing it, and I know the terminology could be complicated, so I'm hoping that this might give you some more understanding of how the insurance works, so that way you could be more aware when it's time to either switch insurance or buy new insurance. So the most important things to keep an eye on are your monthly premiums and how that pertains to coverage. So deductible is an important term to look at, copay and coinsurance. So let's start with something as simple as deductible. So the deductible is a number that you typically have to meet before your insurance starts to kick in and work. And then it'll usually work at a percentage. So for instance, let's say you buy an insurance policy that has a $1,000 deductible. That means that out of pocket you have to pay $1,000 before your insurance kicks in and starts working. So $1,000 in medical bills. And then after that number, you want to look at the coinsurance, which is typically 80-20, meaning the insurance pays 80%, you pay 20. Sometimes it's a 90-10, sometimes 100%, sometimes it's lower, like a 70-30. So that means that after you meet your $1,000, and then let's say you get another bill from the doctor, lab, hospital for $1,000, your insurance will pick up, let's assume you have an 80-20 plan, they'll pick up $800 and you're responsible for the $200. There are other terms like copay. So copay is something that you have to pay every time you see the doctor typically. The copay in some insurance plans applies toward the deductible, but most of the time it does not apply to the deductible. It will typically go though to things like maximum out-of-pocket costs. So a maximum out-of-pocket cost is a wonderful thing that was added on a few years ago, which is the most that you would ever have to pay in a year time. Remember, when the new year starts off, the insurance totally resets back to zero. So within a year time, maximum out-of-pocket that you would be responsible for, and some insurances are $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. So that is the most that you would ever have to pay in that time frame. So let's say something catastrophic happened, you'd know that you wouldn't be responsible out of pocket for any more than whatever that number is. So as it comes also to coinsurance, when we look at coinsurance versus copays for doctor's visits, for instance, some copays are $0, $10, $15, $20, $70. So that's how much you would have to pay for the doctor's visit. Specialist usually is a little bit more, and it will be written down on your card. A coinsurance plan without a copay, you have to pay a percentage of the actual doctor bill. So let's say you go see the doctor and that doctor visit bill, the original visit, comes out to $200. Rather than a copay, you would be paying the coinsurance of the $200. So first of the year, you go see a doctor, you have a coinsurance, and you have a $1,000 deductible. You get an office visit charge for something like $200. You have to pay that $200, and that $200 goes to your deductible. And then remember, until your deductible is met, your insurance doesn't pay anything. There's other things to understand, like out-of-network benefits. So your insurance plan will have a certain amount of doctors that you can go see. That network is much narrower with HMOs. Some Affordable Care Act insurances, like here in California, Anthem Covered California has very narrow networks. So you want to make sure that the network of insurance doctors that you're buying are doctors that you're familiar with or doctors that you want to see. Call the insurance and ask them if there are specific doctors you want to make sure you see. Ask the insurance, do these doctors take that insurance policy? And that'll give you an absolute understanding of whether or not they do or don't. And this is where out-of-network benefits comes in, because if you end up seeing a doctor out of network, well, then your insurance actually might pay a certain amount. So some insurance policies have out-of-network, some do not. So that's important to recognize. Other important things are durable medical equipment. Durable medical equipment are things like crutches, walking boots, wheelchairs, orthotics, and that can also be covered or not covered. Every plan is a little bit different, and it'll usually go toward your deductible in terms of coverage. Some things are based on diagnosis, and that will cover the majority of things you need to understand about your insurance policy. So typically, the lower the deductible, the higher the monthly premium you're going to have. And same thing for copays. The lower the copay, the higher the monthly premium you're going to have in order to offset those types of things. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to post them